prickly pear and black rice for hair loss, tips for dandruff, and healthy aging foods with a special RD guest, all on the next episode of Real Wellness. You know, people are traveling all over the world for hair loss surgery, but why not try something natural instead? Prickly pear and black rice. Now, Dr. Crystal, I think most people know black rice. Maybe
I think so.
Maybe
and they probably are thinking we're talking about real pear when we say prickly
that's
pear.
What I wanna, yeah, it's
but
not,
this
right?
is a cactus. It's fruit from a cactus. And what we're excited about is an extract from the leaves.
Yeah, you know, you can eat cactus too.
Oh.
It's good. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say this, Dr. Mike. I'm impressed by your head of hair, and you did not travel all over the world.
Yeah, I haven't done anything.
He's got a,
I have not, I don't do anything to my hair.
All right. So I think it's.
And people are thinking I'm lying now because I'm in my mid-50s. I'm not. Trust me, I got a lot of other problems.
What that shows is, I know you have a robust nutritional regimen, and nutrition can make a difference.
100%. So when you combine these ingredients together, like what's the point? If somebody doesn't want to do the hair loss surgery and all that stuff, because that's extensive stuff and expensive.
Yes.
Why would they maybe want to try these ingredients?
Well, we do see that these two ingredients combined in clinical research has been shown to increase the growing phase. So we know that our hair, there's a growth phase, the anagen phase, and then a shedding period, which is called the telogen phase. And this nutrient is keeping your hair in that growing phase for longer. And we have clinical data, both subjective and objective data, to show that it's supportive. Yeah,
it's kind of reversing what happens when we age, right? You know, your hair doesn't go into the growing phase as much. So this is actually really interesting research. And we do have a study here, right?
We do, yes. So one particular study is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, 43 men with androgenic and alopecia. So this is male pattern balding.
The most common type.
Yes, they were given 250 milligrams of prickly pear flower and black rice extract, that combination of the two. And then 43 men were given a placebo. Right. So we're talking 46 individuals in the total in the study.
And it was 6 months, right? So this is that's a decent time period.
And it's a 6-month time period, but they also kind of did evaluations at 3 months, at 6 months.
Check it out,
to see the progress during that time frame.
Yeah, and so the results, first of all, they did specifically look at those cycles, right? The anagen, the telogen phase.
Yes,
but then they also looked at, like a dermatologist, like visually inspect it. But then the patient also was able to visually inspect and say something.
And one thing also is they did the analysis not at 3 months, at 6 months, and then 1 month after the participants stopped the treatment. So that's nice.
Right. So we had, so growth phase, for those taking the combo, growth phase increased from 68% or so, 68.6.
And that's at the beginning.
All the way to 76 at 3 months. But 80%, so 80% of the time they are now in that growth phase at 6 months.
That's great. So we're seeing improvements at the 3 month mark as well as the 6 month mark. And then we also, the participants saw hair density improved and that growth to rest ratio improved by about 45.7% at 3 months and 85.8% at 6 months, and this is in that treatment group.
Yeah, and it was safe, right? There was no adverse events reported. So this is the type of clinical data that we like to see. Again, are we totally conclusive here? No, I mean, it takes a lot of, science is evolving. People need to know that. Like in today's age, you want that quick, this is what you do no matter what, or, it doesn't work like that.
That's true. And then one thing, I would say a caveat that's worth mentioning, we're not talking someone who's already completely bald. Trying to regrow hair. What we're
Rob
trying
said prickly
to do,
pear is not going to help you.
What this research is seeing that it can slow down the hair loss. So you have to kind of have some hair to work with.
Yeah, so we have information about hair loss from a life extension protocol. If you go to lifeextension.com/hair, and if you've never, I encourage you to go check out the life extensions protocols, right?
Yes.
Start with the hair one, and you'll see that these protocols are rigorously grounded in science, and they provide all kinds. It's not just about the nutrients. They describe why hair loss happens and testing, and it's very complete. So that's lifeextension.com/hair. And coming up next segment is dandruff and what we can do about it. Dandruff is a serious chronic scalp condition that requires solutions. You know, Dr. Crystal, I think there's an underappreciation for how severe and chronic dandruff actually is.
Yes, and I can confess, I used to have dandruff. Wasn't a really big problem, but my husband was the one that pointed it out. And he was like, babe, you need to figure something out here. You need to get some shampoo or something because you have a problem. But I grew up thinking that it wasn't really a problem. It was a sign that your hair was growing. And now I know that's not the case.
Yeah, there are primary mechanisms that have been listed out that can cause dandruff. First of all, you can have overgrowth of certain types of yeast species. You can also have just increased oil production, skin, and then sometimes when you combine those two right there, some yeast and some over oil production, and then you wash your hair with certain chemicals, that can activate a lot of the dandruff, that flaky white stuff that you see like on your shoulder.
Yes, and I'm happy you brought that up, Dr. Mike, because what I found is I was reacting to some of the chemicals that were used on my hair.
Makes sense.
Like a specific type of color that I was using was causing me to have dandruff. So some people, it is due to just kind of sensitivities in the scalp.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it, I think yeast is definitely a part of it. Oil production's a part of it, but then it usually seems like there's a trigger for people, and that can be anything from stress to chemicals, dry weather for some people, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about medical treatments.
So mainly over-the-counter, you have the over-the-counter shampoos, and it's some of the key ingredients that you'll see inside of these shampoos. Zinc, which has antibacterial, antifungal action. Selenium, so this also reduces fungus and slows the skin cell turnover, because that rapid turnover in the skin cells, then you shed those skin cells and hence your dandruff. Coal tar. Now, I've never seen this, but that also slows cell turnover. And salicylic acid. Now, that's one that I have seen. Reduces scalp scaling and helps to remove flakes. So these are all over-the-counter solutions.
Right. And there are prescriptions that you can talk to your doctor about. Probably the biggest one is topical corticosteroids, very commonly prescribed and helps out a lot of people. In rare cases, phototherapy is an option where UV exposure under medical supervision can help to get rid of some of that oil, maybe even kill off some of the yeast. Remember, those are kind of the things that are there. And then you just got to really know what your triggers are to avoid those as well. So that's a whole list of things that you can do. But here's something that I thought was really interesting and you really want to keep in mind. You're dealing with yeast. Yeast can divide a lot. When there's a lot of division, a lot of resistance can come up, meaning the yeast species that are there are getting more and more resistance to the shampoo you might be using, to the zinc you might be using, to some of the other remedies. So mixing and rotating how you approach dandruff can be very helpful to avoid those resistant cases.
Yes, and then there are things that you can take internally. Zinc, for example. Zinc is very helpful for skin repair. Vitamin E supports skin barrier. It has an antioxidant capabilities in the body. B vitamins, B7, B3, B5, they all support the healthy scalp, healthy hair. Omega-3 fatty acids, anti-inflammatory, can help to prevent some of the irritation. Probiotics as well as vitamin A. And these are all things that you can take topically to help to manage your concern.
Yeah, some people might wonder, if it is a yeast species, why not use some medications that are directly killing the yeast, antifungal, stuff like that? Well, because you're going to use it topically mostly, and they just don't penetrate like they should. And taking those antifungals orally kind of comes with a lot of side effects.
Yes, but one thing that you can use topically, and you can find it widely available, tea tree oil.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something where you can just go through part your scalp and apply the oil and just go through and then rub it into your scalp. And that can help as well.
Yeah, or get a loved one to rub it in, and you can have a nice little like spa moment.
Oh yes,
that'd be pretty nice. So there you go, Dan. Listen, it is a serious condition, and there are remedies for you. It often is trial and error, but remember, it's usually some triggers that get the yeast and the oil going, right? So know your triggers, find some things that work, and rotate them. And of course, you can always talk to your doctor about other medications that are being researched.
Yeah.
So coming up next, Smart Bites, longevity foods. Longevity foods that might help you live a little longer. All right, we're going to be talking about longevity foods that could help you live a little longer. I'm here with Holli Ryan, Registered Dietitian, good friend of our past shows, current show. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to start with walnuts.
Yes, so walnuts are a nutritious nut. They contain protein, fiber. They contain minerals such as magnesium. They're great for cognitive health, and they may support a longer lifespan.
Yeah, what was it like? Those people 60 years old or something who ate 5 servings a day. What was that?
Yeah, so this was really interesting. They were looking at a 1 ounce serving. It supported cardiovascular health, and they showed that even at initiating them into your diet at age 60 helped increase lifespan in this particular study.
Well, I don't know. I mean, walnuts are so jam-packed with nutrients. It is probably a combination of all these.
Likely a variety of all the different nutrients it has, yeah.
We're going to move on to another one that I find disgusting, but Holli loves, and that's matcha or green tea.
Yeah, so green tea, I had my morning matcha today. So green tea, it's interesting. It has next to no calories, but it is concentrated in nutrients such as antioxidants. And among all type of tea, in fact, it's one of the highest in a particular antioxidant called EGCG.
Right, yeah. And that one is probably giving a lot of our longevity benefit here.
Yeah, it has a lot of antioxidants, but that I would say is one of the primary ones to support the benefits.
Yeah. Well, oxidative stress that happens just in life, eating, metabolizing, one of the leading theories of aging, has been for years, right? Olive oil is our third one.
Yeah, so looking at olive oil here, it's high in monounsaturated fat. This type of fat has been shown to be beneficial for heart health, and it also contains polyphenols. We have a study example here. I can go through that. So in a large U.S. study, daily olive oil intake was associated with an increased lifespan, and it increased the likelihood of living a healthier and longer life. They kind of go hand in hand. You're increasing your health span and therefore your lifespan.
Now, do you think with olive oil, because we're dealing with healthy fats, we got some good polyphenols in there, a combination of probably both of those?
Yeah, they're looking at most of the benefits being largely attributed to that antioxidant content. But of course, if you're supporting one of the major organs, heart health, that also is contributing.
Gotcha. All right. We're going to now move over to what I find and love, mushrooms. You just told me you don't really care for mushrooms.
I like pretty much most foods. Mushrooms, they're not my favorite. I'll eat them, but I don't go after them. I won't necessarily order them, but if they're in something, I'll eat it.
Yeah, I love it. I told her I just recently made a homemade cream of mushroom soup. It's wonderful.
I would try it.
So so when we're talking about longevity foods, what are we dealing here with mushrooms?
Yeah, so mushrooms are a source of beta-glucan, a type of fiber. They also contain selenium, which is a mineral, and crucial sulfur-containing antioxidants such as ergothioneine and glutathione.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, the ergotheanine, they're calling, researchers are, right? It's at that research level, but they're calling it a longevity vitamin.
There you go.
So that's probably where you're getting a lot of that benefit. Yes, more and more mushrooms, even for you, Holly.
I will try.
Less green tea, more mushrooms.
Hey, they could all fit. And these are my maitake mushrooms, by the way. And aim for about 4 cups per week to get the benefits.
I can like take this and that, fry that right now. And,
this would make a good stir fry right here.
No. It's right here. As a matter of fact, the no one for me again. I do love cruciferous vegetables in general. Cauliflower is one of my favorite. I love roasted cauliflower. Broccoli's just a tough one for me, but it is one of our longevity foods. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so don't worry, Dr. Mike, you have other options. There are, like you mentioned, cauliflower, watercress, and Brussels sprouts are all in the cruciferous.
Love all those.
Okay, great.
Love all
there you
those.
go.
Yeah.
They're in the cruciferous vegetable family. So one of the active compounds, isothiocyanates, it's a bioactive phytonutrient. And one of the benefits, or a few of the benefits, so healthy cell division, healthy estrogen metabolism, so helping that detoxification process, healthy DNA. There's so many benefits to this group. And looking at the research, they're finding about a cup and a half daily.
Ooh.
Not only broccoli, but a cup and a half daily of the cruciferous vegetable family will help you on your way.
What do you think about, we've heard a lot lately about how you should be cooking a lot of these foods. Broccoli is always one people talk about. Can you overcook the broccoli and, I guess, leach out some of those nutrients? Does that happen?
You can. So light cooking, I would say just diversify it in your diet, right? Some days you have a crudité and dip your veggies in some good dressing. Another time you lightly steam them. Mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit. Now, let's go to the last one, longevity food, that I'm pretty sure vast majority of people like, right? And we're talking about chocolate.
Yep, so chocolate, one of my favorites. Right here we have cacao nibs. So chocolate and cacao, they contain phytonutrients, a rich source of antioxidants, and 3 tablespoons rather is a serving. So whether you choose cacao nibs or you're gonna choose dark chocolate that's 70% or higher, just don't choose a candy bar, of course. But this is when you're gonna get into that beneficial category. So 2 ounces of 70% dark chocolate, little to no added sugar, and chocolate can support cardiovascular health and cognitive function. We have a study example here. So there was a study on postmenopausal women.
Okay.
They consumed kind of a moderate intake 3 times a week of chocolate. And this was associated with a longer lifespan.
Yeah. So when it comes to choosing dark chocolate, you're on the 70% or more. Is that what you said?
Yeah. In the 70 to 80% range. Once you get a little higher than that, it's kind of unpalatable.
Yeah.
It gets
tough.
a little bitter.
Yeah.
But I like these because you could sprinkle them on top of yogurt, on top of your acai bowl.
Okay, nice, great. I love this. Longevity foods that may help you live a little longer, but it's based on some research and some of those key compounds. There are 8 other longevity foods you can learn about at lifeextension.com/longevity foods. So go check that out. And coming up next, our Wellness Win. All right, welcome to our segment, Wellness Win. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, my wellness win is that I try to incorporate proteins into my breakfast meals. It helps me avoid snacking throughout the day, which I typically do, and also I feel a bit energized throughout my workday.
Oh, that's Alex.
Alex has it figured out.
Yeah.
We talk about this, Dr. Mike. You want to break your fast with at least 30 grams of protein.
Yeah, you said that. When you taught me that, I thought that was a lot. But no, that's about what the experts are saying, right?
Yes, I mean, you want to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. You're in a catabolic mode from your overnight fast, so you want to wake up and get things going again.
Yeah, and you could do this in a variety of ways. You could eat the protein, but there's also protein add-ins, right?
Yes.
Supplements.
You can put protein
powders
in your coffee.
Yeah.
I do that, about 10 grams of collagen in my morning coffee. That kind of helps me to get that protein
that
intake
going,
in
yeah.
and supplement, because sometimes it's difficult to get that 30 grams in kind of one sitting. So
Yeah.
sometimes you need those add-ins. So Alex, you're spot on.
Awesome. So that was our wellness win. You know, you can submit yours. Yeah, go ahead and email it to wellnesswin@lifeextension.com. And while you're doing that, just go to lifeextension.com. And you can use the discount code wellness, and you get $10 off, $50 or more, plus free shipping and handling.
Hey, and do us a favor, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next week on Real Wellness.